Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a great rack. I think I have a bingo here. I have stew pan with the blank as an A. Do I have anything better? I think if there is a better play, the blank is going to be a vowel. Stew pan, I don't think has an anagram, so that's the blank as an A. Can't see anything with the blank as an E. Inswept might be good. Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Can't see anything with the O. And unswept I don't think is any good. So, inswept would be 74, and is this going to be better than stew pan? It is in terms of hooks at the beginning and end. Stew pan takes an S. I don't think either of these plays can get the W or P. Ah, well, yes it can. So if this is good, I think this is the highest scoring. Great, it is good, so that's a fantastic start, and this is a really good pickup. It looks close to a bingo, they're all bingo-y tiles. The GU combo, slightly problematic. But I've got, at the moment, a ton of floaters to consider. I can't see a 7 with this rack, but I'm not ruling one out. I've got gilt as a 5. So anything through the E. Well, there could be, but I'm not seeing it. How about the I? Now through an N, and there is an N, I would have saluting. So hopefully that will remain available. Can't see anything with the S. Or the W, close to wagtails. Still can't see anything with the E. How about the P? Nope, close to pugilist. Pugtail's not good. Can't see anything beginning up or ending up. And not seeing anything with the T, so it's just saluting that I've seen. And that stays available, fantastic. It doesn't score very much, so let me briefly consider the new floaters. Can't see anything with the C or the H. So I'm going with saluting. And I don't think this has an anagram. Saluting for 60. Okay, the bingo run ends with this Q on my rack. So is there anywhere to get rid of it? Well, there is. Look at this, between the two I's, chi and chi. And I've also got cat at the top for 20 odd points. So I'm going to score at least 20 with this Q. Phew, I thought for a moment my opponent had blocked both spots. He's left this one alone. And wow, close to chi gong. Not close enough. Chi for 41. Just pausing in case there's a U on the board, but there isn't. Well, again, no bingo. But I should be able to leave myself a better rack leave this turn. I'm not sure about togged, that may be good, in which case I've got it down from the T of inswept. I've got a 120 point lead. I don't think there are any 7s or 8s with this rack. Certainly nothing's come to mind. Ale is good. So I'm just looking to see if I've got a play parallel to saluting, maybe beginning with GE. Yug is good, so anything ending EG. Well, deg, I have deg. Okay, worth considering, although the rack leave of GOTT, not great. Just wondering if I've got to play down from the P. So that would need to begin PE. Nope, not seeing anything. Let me check togged while my opponent is thinking. Yeah, that's good. and remains available. Fantastic. Whiz takes nothing after it, so my opponent's play has provided nothing. This is quite a nice play for my opponent, in that it provides this floating E plus a vowel next to a premium square. This rattly is pretty poor, and the score's ropey. So can I do better? If takes nothing after it. Is there anything through this T which gets doubled and burns one of the T's? And is there anywhere for togged? Well, I'm paying the price for not having any floaters available after in swept. Just thinking again about deg. Let me see what this scores. 26 points, so it's more points than togged. I'm not sure if this rack lever is better or not than double T. It may not be. Probably slightly worse, but deg is a lot safer strategically. It doesn't give anything away. So I'm going with this. Just wondering if I had a slightly longer play. So, no, I'm going with this. Okay, that's quite nice. It's still not bingo-y, but it's balanced and I've got a scoring tile. And I've still got my 100-point lead on quite a tight board. It's just really this floating T, which is another reason why I'm glad I didn't play togged. I didn't think saluting takes an S. Definitely worth checking. It doesn't, which is good. Whiz takes nothing, inswept takes nothing, so it's just plays bingos through this T. So it'd be interesting to see what my opponent does. If he doesn't have a bingo through that, he may struggle to score very much. And I'm wondering if I have motet ending with double T. Doesn't look... Ooh, I was going to say doesn't look great, but it is good. Now, great bingo from my opponent. I hadn't considered that bingo lane. And he's right back in it now, just 30 points behind. And my attention switches to the left of the board. Opponent burns the second blank, so it's good to see that out of the way. What do I have through this R? I'm not looking for a bingo. I can't see one through any of these floaters. Can't see anything running across the top of retiming. That would need to be O something E. Wow, if I had an A, I would have omega. Can't see a double-double through the M. 15 minutes on my clock. So I have grot. 15 points, which is pretty tragic. What about Malta? May not be good, but it's 33 points. And it is good. Fantastic. Pushes me back out to about a bingo's lead. Now I've got the X, which can go under retiming for Z, X and tie. And opponent's drawn 7 random tiles, so he may have a horror show of a rack. Still 3 U's and 2 V's out there. Zai is not going to leave a great rack lead with the F and the G. Now my X can also go above the first I of retiming. I double F is good, but not many PF words. Just perfui and perfenning come to mind. Just wondering what goes on the end of yad. I think it's just an S. Yada, not good. I don't think. Through an L, I would have flex and flexo. Can't see anything through this T. Still one H to come for going to the right of the C. Both of us on 14 minutes. Now Ox is good, so do I have a 4-letter play ending with X? No, don't think I do. I could play Fox in that spot, leaving EGIT, which is not a bad rack leave, given this starting position. 26 points, not great, and it is inviting a 30 or 40 point response in column 3. And I'm only contemplating that should XI be blocked. Now, what about a play beginning EX, a 6-letter play? Can't see anything. Where else haven't I considered for my X? I have fix and fixed on my rack. Nowhere for either of those. Well, I have fixed onto the T. Not great. I have thief through the H, which does not take an S on the end. Over 20 points. Now, opponent takes out my really good X spot. Do I have a 5-letter play with X in second place? I don't think I considered any. Can't see anything. And this X over the I. So do I have a 2-letter play? I don't think so. I am not good. What about a play in column 4? So I have fix it, which is quite attractive because it's nearly 40 points. It gets rid of the F, which is really not a good tile. It's non-bingo-y, and it lacks synergy with the G. Fix it, I think, takes an S and a Y at the end. Is there something better? I think this is certainly better than fix or fox at the top. But I am leaving alone column 1. So even without playing the X, is there a 5-letter play in column 1? Can't see anything. I'm going with this. Well, not too bad. It's not good to see the V, but it's a balanced rack, and there are scoring tiles. And no duplicates. Can't see any 7s or 8s with this rack, although there may be some. Both Ys have gone with yay, so the fix-it-E spot isn't available, but as I say, I think it takes an S. Now, do I now have a play in column 1 of any description? All of my vowels can go to the left of the N. Gosh, yes, well I have ogive, O-G-I-V-E. May not remain available, however. The X may attract my opponent in column 5. What else do I have should that be blocked? I have Vigor on my rack. Can't see anywhere for that. I have Vim, which sorts the rack out somewhat, but look at this, 6 O's to come. Well, I guess in that case Vom would be a better play. I have Voma on my rack. Board is quite blocked in terms of bingo lanes. Not a huge number of them. There's the floating T, which is quite useful. And then there's just lanes created by Fixit. Wow, look at this. My spot remains available and I was resigned to it going because it's a pretty attractive spot, column 1, and it's been open for a while. So ogive's what I'm considering. 35 points. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but it's not. It certainly sorts the rack out. A nice rack lead with a ton of vowels to come. This should survive even a 5-vowel pickup. Now what I do have at the top is vom. 33 points. Okay, that's not more points. The advantage of playing at the top though would be that I wouldn't be creating a new bingo lane and I'd be taking out the column 3 hotspot, which I think is probably hotter than column 1. I thought for a moment I had Vogie in column 3, but e.g. not good. I've got 12 minutes, which is quite a lot of time. Only 1/3 of the bag remaining. Do I have a play at the top? Remaining tiles pretty bingo apart from the last 4, and apart from, there seem to be a ton of vowels. Let me just check. 22 vowels out of 43. Okay, so it's half and half. I just can't see a way of playing the V. I've got Gorm, G-O-R-M. Let me see what this scores. Only 34 points. Difficult for my opponent to score off. Rack leave not good. I think I'm going to go back to ogive for 35. Well, I dodge all these A's and O's. Could they be on my opponent's rack? Difficult to tell from his previous move. C and K have synergy. I have trekked in column 13, which turns over a lot of tiles, takes out the T floater, and scores quite well. 30 points. Hangs out a couple of useful floaters, but they're only going to be available for one move, because I will then have the option of taking them out. I don't particularly want to play off a ton of tiles, given the possibility of being swamped with A's, O's and U's. Now I haven't got an A or O for going after the J, but do I have a play beginning next to the E? I do. I have meek. And I've no problem with burning both of my E's, because I am anticipating the possibility of a vowel heavy draw, and although there's an even number of vowels and consonants, that basically means that or includes the possibility of drawing a ton of vowels, and that can be difficult to play your way through, especially as my lead is just 1 bingo. Great, only 25 points for my opponent. That's really good. And what I do have here is mech for 39 points, which is a good score. It's not providing the floaters that trekked provided, and the rack leave is better, so everything about mech is better than trekked. And it really gives very little away, because only the H goes after the C. However, whoever does have the H will have a high scoring play in column 5, because O, A and I go after the K. So mech for 39. Okay, the vowels are coming out to play. Not a disaster, only 1 A and 1 O. But no scoring tiles. So I could play, well, I was going to say Oda, but this is the real problem, keeping a vowel heavy rack leave with a real possibility of the rack being unbalanced next turn. And although my lead looks healthy, 110 points, an 80 or 90 point bingo would make huge inroads into that. So I'd really like to be in a position to keep scoring 20 and 30 points. Remaining tiles pretty bingo-y, barring a number of duplicates on your rack or a vowel heavy rack. Let me just check the vowel situation. 15 out of... Okay, well there goes 2 of the vowels. Let me check the vowels again. 13 out of 28. Okay, so it's still pretty half and half-ish. Now, what to do? I had not identified any candidate plays apart from possibly playing in column 5, which I didn't particularly fancy. I guess a play down onto the T would be quite good. But any play which is 1 square beyond creates a new bingo lane. Can't play parallel to V because no 2-letter V plays. How about a play down from this blank? It would have to begin M-I. What a shame, I can't see anything. M-I-D, and then nothing follows that. Wow, what a shame. That looked quite useful. And I don't really want to play M-I-D because it's leaving a vowel heavy rack leave. So, 8 minutes on my clock, and I have a problematic rack. Can't see anything beginning with the I. What about a play down from this T? It would be nice to play off just vowels. Maybe that's what I should be looking to do. Just looking around the V and the X, I could play T-E. Doesn't feel great. And I'm just thinking that this T looks quite useful with this rack if I were to play off just a couple of vowels. 7 minutes on my clock, 21 tiles to come. I have V-I-A-E on my rack. I'm contemplating playing something like A-I-D-E down here. That just doesn't feel right. So, what about playing Do? Rack leave's quite good, especially with this T. And any bingo in row N is going to provide scoring opportunities in row O and is unlikely to score very much unless it begins with a V. And it's also taking out the opportunity of my opponent playing down from this M, scoring off the X. I'm going with this. Okay, so more vowels, and my lead has shrunk to 100 points. Only the one U. And I can get rid of some of these vowels by playing something like hriday, but that cannot be best. It won't score very much and it'll open up row O. I guess I've got uriate. Aureate. Maybe that's the play. Aureate. Yeah, turning over a lot of tiles. And again, if opponent does bingo in column 14, he'll be providing access to triple word squares. So I think I like Aureate, which probably means my opponent's about to block it by bingoing there. In which case I could be in trouble. Although right now I've got a healthy lead. 7 minutes on both of our clocks. Still quite a few vowels out there, but a huge number of A's and O's have shrunk. Opponents play of oboe, helping to reduce the O's, as did my play of do. I've still got VIE, but that's just not good with this vowel over the double letter square. Although it's just the H and the D which can really benefit from that, so it's not as dangerous as it would be with a full bag. I have no plan B if Aureate is blocked. The T is the only really useful looking floater. UH is good, but I can't get that to score twice. Nothing goes between ON and ID or in front of 2. So it's not a particularly good, well, good's the wrong word, but it's not a board with particularly many places to play. There are bingo lanes on the board, but if you haven't got a bingo, what to do? Nice play by my opponent. He's created a new bingo lane in row O, which suggests he's got one or both S's. Or an L. I don't think I'm going to worry about that, because I think Aureate is clearly the best play. Aureate for 18. Great, fairly balanced. Scoring tile in the P. 9 tiles in the bag, so if opponent bingos, there'll be just 2 in the bag. So he can't bingo twice, and he's 100 points behind. But he's only 100 points behind. And the Dar play suggests, well, look at that, 2 L's and 2 S's are still out there. Surely one of those was on my opponent's rack when he played. Now Aureate takes an L, so opponent might be able to sort his rack out by using that hook. And I've spotted nowhere, just no candidate plays at all at the moment. Yeah, opponent bingos 85 points, so my lead is just 19 points. I don't think opponent's going to bingo again, but if he does, it's game over for me. 2 tiles in the bag. Now, what about a play in column 12? And let me just 3 vowels. So, having gone from a situation where I was trying to avoid being swamped with vowels, I'm a little keener to hang on to them now. None of my consonants can go next to the U. Oh, I can't see a play there apart from PO. 16 points. But I'd quite like to play off a lot of tiles to give me a chance of going out next turn. I'm just wondering how dangerous Rowpit would be. It's 22 points. Pretty good chance of going out next turn. This would take my lead to over 40. Opponent may be able to get about 40 in column 15, but I don't think he's going to get much more than that. And I don't think my floaters really assist opponent with bingoing. And I haven't seen any alternative plays. And my R can go after ER, should my opponent not go there. I'm going with this. Okay, so can I go out in 1? Not a good pickup. Gosh, not sure I can. Rara isn't good. Arar is. Great, I've got Arar through the A of Aureate. Do I have a second out? Not sure I do. But I do have AR and which would take out that scoring spot for my opponent. So my lead is 41 points. Spotting a second out would be hugely useful. No E's available for rare. L and U and the Raupit floaters aren't doing it. Nothing beginning EA. All of the board at the top is dead. So what if her opponent blocks RR? Just wondering if opponent's got a bingo through the eye. Well, I've not seen it yet. Just 3 minutes on his clock and 4 on mine. So quite a tight end to the game. My 100-point lead all but extinguished by Diesel. And a great play of Dar to set that up on a fairly tight board. Opponent could still win if he blocks my out, which he could do by using the Laureate hook. Maybe Raupit was the wrong play, I don't know. But I don't think my opponent can score hugely down there. Maybe Barons. No, Barons would still allow RR. 36 points, 401. Not enough. But if he could play one square higher, it might be. Well, that would be a bingo. Opponent would have last born through a T. T of Raupit not available. In the right place. Opponent does play Barons, and I have RR for 4 points. And the final score, 401 to my opponent, 412 to me, a winning margin of 11 points, so a huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. I saw Inswept and Stupan. What I didn't see was Nswept, Unswept. Yeah, the other two swept plays, so they're all good. Inswept for 78. Wow! Crayfish available for my opponent. Very difficult one to spot. Plays Chief. And now Saluting is my only bingo. But it would have been blocked by Crayfish. By Yearly. Wow, another tricky one to see. Opponent plays Yay for 29, and I've got this horror show. But fortunately I can get 40 for the Q. 104 for Ritziest. Wow. Opponent plays Whiz for 40, so that's a let-off for me. And I played Deg for 26, which I still like. Opponent does now bingo with retiming. And he only trails by 30. And he's created a lot of new openings. Motet, J2. Quite nice. Running all the way along the bottom of retiming. Decent score, decent rack leave. I play Malta for 1 fewer point, but leaving these floaters available. Opponent plays even, blocking my big X play. H4 fix it, that was my play for 38. Opponent plays G on. And now I play Ogive, and I thought about Vom. Not sure how these rack leaves compare, EGIR versus MR. My guess would be that they're fairly similar. And the scores are fairly similar. So I still on balance prefer Ogive, but only just. Wow, opponent has waste bin through the T. Another tricky one to see. Plays Wan. And now I have mech for 39. Opponent plays oboe. And at this point I have a 100-point lead, or a 90-point lead. And a tricky rack. Voidy, N1. Okay, well that's not great. So what do I do? And I played Doe for 16, but look at that. Vex for 30 was available, but not a good rack lead, keeping an A and an O with all these A's to come. Albeit just a couple of O's. So I don't think Doe is a disaster. Opponent's rack plays Dar. Now I have 6 vowels and I play Ori 8, which I still like. Now a great bingo by my opponent, Deziel. Quite high probability, but it's a difficult one to see, and it's definitely a Scrabble word in that it's not going to be a word you know unless you studied it for Scrabble purposes. Now I'm in a tricky spot because my lead has been shrunk to just 19 points, and I have this rack. And I played Raupit for 22, which, well, it's only 3 off the top play, and the top play I'm not going to go out pretty much regardless of the pick, so I actually like Raupit. N1, VoIP. Okay, that creates nothing. And now Barons is the best my opponent can do. And RR is the only out, so delighted to have spotted that. If I hadn't, it may have been a different end to the game. So, super exciting game. I got off to a fantastic start with 2 back-to-back bingos, but my opponent came up very late on the rails. I was 100 points ahead for most of the rest of the game, but I know that's never a margin which is big enough to relax with. And then opponent slapped down a huge 80 or 90 point bingo, and it was really, really tight at the end. But I eked out the win, and that was a good and exciting game. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.